What's up, guys? That Really Gross Guy here, and we are back playing Warframe. Now, I mentioned in my last video, I kind of wanted to, I think it was my last video, we'll see, because I gotta edit, do that, all that. But we're talking about the index and some of the rewards, and I managed to get the Kinetic Riccochet, which is a relatively easy mod to get. And I wanted to kind of give it a little test run, because I was kind of eager to see if it was really all that useful. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of details about it, and you guys can ultimately decide for yourself if you deem it worth using or not. In my opinion, I feel like you could do, if you utilize the capacity, you could include it if you really wanted to, but at the same time, depending on how you play, you might be able to utilize a different mod. So, like I said, you guys can kind of be the judge of that. So, I have it maxed out. So, it is going to give you 6 bounces. So, let's see if I can get in a small space. Right in here, right in here. It'll give you 6 bounces. So, okay, I managed to hit that guy. So, 6 bounces. Okay, that one way up in the sky. But it also is going to max out at a certain point. As you can see, it hit once, twice, 3 times, and then it ended up disappearing. So the Tetra is similar to the Supra in the fact that you have a range where your bullet will eventually fade away. As you can see, I got the 2 bounces out of that before it disappeared. As you'll see, I can shoot it against that wall. Let me get a better bounce. Okay, we'll try to get a better bounce. Yeah, so I can get 1 single bounce. Now, 6 ricochets. You'll almost never get 6 ricochets out of that unless you fire it in literally a space as small as this one, like between here and there, and you're not gonna get it. So the 6 ricochets are really not the most amazing part of this mod. If anything, it's the range that's more useful. So now, for instance, if I were to open up this door and fire at these guys, I now can hit maybe this guy up there. Yeah, I can manage to hit that guy up there, but the 30% only goes so far. It only goes so far, and to be honest, I feel like you won't be using the Tetra all that often for that long range of shots. So if you really want to utilize your 7, because a maxed out kinetic whatever is going to cost you 7 in a dash, or 7 without putting in a dash polarity slot. Now obviously if you were to mod it into a dash slot, it would cost you less, but in my opinion, there are better ways to go about doing that, because if you're in it for the range, I mean, I guess there aren't any other range mods at the moment to increase the Tetra's range. So if you really want the range, then I guess it's useful for you. But if you're getting it for the bounce, so that when your shots miss, I mean, obviously you can hit an enemy and it'll still bounce off of them and possibly hit more enemies. But if you're using it for missed shots, you'd be better off with increasing your accuracy, which can be done with a guided ordnance, which is what I use, which is what I like to use on this. Now, I don't have it on here at the moment because of capacity reasons, and at the same time, I want to kind of gauge how often do I miss. And with me using this, as long as I have the Prisma Tetra, I hit... I literally checked, and I hit exactly 50% of my shots without the guided ordnance. And I know that because I actually busted out the regular Tetra, and I fired the Tetra hundreds or thousands of times, I believe. I fired it thousands of times, and I ended up exactly hitting 50. So, that's without guided ordnance. So, if you're going to miss 50% of your shots and hope hope, I just got wrecked. Hope that the other 50% that you miss will hit an enemy. I'll show you how unlikely it is for you to get like rebound shots, if you want to call them, for your missed shots to connect with another enemy. Now, let me kind of show you that now. So if I'm going to, let's say I'm aiming over at this guy, pay attention to the other enemies and how many of them are taking damage on missed shots. As you can see, almost zero. Almost 0%, I mean maybe 1% of your missed shots or your ricochets are actually going to hit another enemy. If you want to be generous, we'll say 10%. And as you can see, look at that. Look at the other enemies around and how many of them got hit by a ricochet. Almost none of them. So I'd say if you're doing it for the ricochet, I honestly believe you shouldn't. You'd be better off, like I said, increasing your accuracy so that more shots land right off the bat. You see what I mean? You'd be better off increasing your accuracy if you maybe need a little bit of help in the accuracy department. My other weapons, let's say my Boltor. I checked my Boltor. I hit about 65% of my shots with the Boltor, so I have about a 15% increase in accuracy, we'll just say, for another weapon that has travel time. Now, I believe that you'd be better off making 15% of your shots, or 15% more of your shots land, rather than hoping for this ricochet concept. Now, this is just as the mod released. It would be cool if DE increased the probability of... obviously, it's subject to a lot of different things, and there's only so much that they can change. And with that said, it's like I said, I would rather guarantee 15% of my shots to hit because of an accuracy reason, for something like Guide and Ordnance, than count on these ricochets. As you can see, these other shots, these missed shots, he didn't get hit maybe at all. I'm sure that if you were to watch that back, I don't think he got hit one time. So like I said, if you want an accuracy increase, I'd say go for an accuracy mod, a Guide and Ordnance, possibly, if that's how you choose to go about doing that. Or utilize that location, that capacity, for a damage increase. If you can increase your damage by 20 to 50%, we'll just say give it a number somewhere in there, then you don't necessarily need increased accuracy, because instead of going from 50% to 65%, like for my example, if you get that 50% to do more damage, then there's no reason for accuracy. You see what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, the kinetic discharge, or kinetic ricochet, my bad, is kind of, I don't want to say it's useless. Obviously, there are times where it does work, but I feel like you can utilize that slot for other mods and be better off. I went into this mission firing at enemies that that would take a lot of bullets to kill, just to prove a point so that you can see how often are these other guys being shot. I can sit on this Eximus for a long time, well, without dying. I can shoot at one guy for a long time, and you'll see that these shots are not connecting to other enemies. They're just not. It's just not plausible. Like I said, I suggest either getting an accuracy mod or increasing your damage mod. Don't bother with the kinetic ricochet, because it's really not that useful unless you want to do something like this and bounce them off that wall and hit those guys. But look at that damage. Look at that damage is so little. You see that? That's kind of cool. I'll admit that's cool. But I would rather, I mean, Is it really that important? You guys, like I said, you guys can be the judge of that. But how often are you going to really need a ricochet? How often are you going to be here trying to kill guys over there? See, as you can see, how many guys am I hitting? Nobody. I'm not hitting anything. My accuracy is now going way down on this weapon, but I'm just trying to show you guys, for example, that it's not worth it. You see how those guys didn't get shot? So for me, I'm not going to utilize it. I was a little bit eager to see it because of the range increase as well as the ricochet, but as you can see here, it almost never benefits you. So I'd say go a different route. But like I said, it's up to you. Let me know in the comments if you've used it, or if you've, if you were thinking about using it. Let me know what you think. Let me know, has it been useful to you if you have used it? Anyways, I'm just going to abort. I don't really care to get through this mission. It was just to be an example for the weapon itself and the mod. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, blow! I'm really not doing so hot. Oh, there's a mod over there. Cool. Cool. Hopefully it's something I don't have. Was he an Anaros? He is an Anaros. That's a cool looking Anaros. Anyways.